All right, full self-driving beta test software version 11.4.4, 11.4.4, 23.7.20, and destination is already preloaded. One thing I like to do, I'm going to take my watch off, throw it on the charger. One big thing, all EVs have USB ports everywhere, so you can just charge devices. I find it to be extremely convenient, and I have a regular lightning cord here as well, and I'll plug my iPad into it because there's obviously charging built in for your phone. Android works as well, but that's only for weirdos. Okay, we're not engaged in beta just yet, but I did want to point out the calendar syncing. I think in my first video I said camera syncing, but it syncs with your calendar, so your destinations are just preloaded. Most of the time when I get in the car, it just has my destination in there. There's a feature where you can click on here, hit add stop, and you can just add stops if you need to run some errands or do something on the way to your typical destination. Like if I'm picking the kids up from school, but I want to stop somewhere on the way, hit that button. All right, so we are now going to engage beta. The point of this drive is going to be to give another fair, honest take and show that beta is far from perfect. I'm expecting disengagements for sure. We are taking a route that I drive very frequently to go play pickleball. And here we go, guy riding a bike. Pretty dangerous there, guy, but he did all right. Didn't look like he really looked where he was going. So beta's engaged, as you can see by the blue line. It's visualizing what's going on. It's stopped at this red light. And like I said, I expect disengagements on this drive. I feel like a lot of the drives I see outside of maybe Chuck Cook don't show many disengagements. And I feel that's a bit disingenuous or unfair because the software is not perfect and our job is to beta test it, to be aware and ready and to take over in dangerous situations. So here we go, light turned green, cars, little hesitant because of this car approaching on the left. Ultimately, I gave it a little nag there with the accelerator, a little touch, and we're good to go. So we'll keep this full screen visualization on for a sec, see what it does. So we could have went north here. It's deciding to make a left turn. I'm not sure if that's map or GPS related. Let's see. And now it is choosing the right left turning lane. So very interesting there. Not sure what it's thinking. And now it definitely just cut this guy off behind me. So I didn't disengage, but that was terrible. Matter of fact, I am going to disengage and tell the team, please review that last turn. It switched lanes in the middle of the turn, and then it cut somebody off because there were two left turning lanes. I'm going to call this one urgent. Urgent. Thank you. Okay, so that's an example of a disengagement and sending a recording. I actually wish we had more than 10 seconds, but I try to hit some keywords in there, and I try to say urgent for things like that, hoping that that gets relayed to the team maybe faster than a normal disengagement. But there we go. Goal achieved right off the rip. A disengagement showing that it's not perfect. Again, it made the left-hand turn, and I chose to disengage to send the notes to the team that it wasn't cool how it basically cut off the guy behind me in the other left-hand turning lane. This guy's passing me. Hopefully he doesn't hate me. Sorry about that. Oh, definitely gave me a look. Yeah, definitely gave me a look. So that's not cool. That's definitely not cool. Do not want to be getting looks from people. In my other video, I talked about this is pretty much the child's play, the mundane stuff here. 3-lane road, a westbound and eastbound, and a center turning lane, double yellow and a single white, or here now it's dotted yellow, but it's really no difference for the car. You can see on the visualization that it's that it's pretty much as easy as can be. It is interesting to note how it visualizes that there's so there were 3 traffic cones there, but if you look on the screen, I didn't see, if you pause and rewind, or I can go back after the fact, I think there was like 5 or 6 or 7. There was more than 3 visualized on the screen. So that's interesting. Why is that when there were only 3? The AI needs to be better there. Here it visualized a cone that wasn't there. I'm pretty sure I did not see a cone. That's very interesting. Now we're going to get a look at some roundabout action. Unfortunately, I'm not approaching from the south, or else it would have to do, on this route, actually do back-to-back roundabouts where it actually goes around them. And it does great. It's surprising. Last fall, it did not do great at roundabouts, but it's doing great this year. So here we go, entering the roundabout, and that was a little too easy for it. I've never had an experience in roundabouts with pedestrians, so I'd be really curious how that works. Because personally, full self-driving or not, I think pedestrian walkways and roundabouts are terribly, terribly, terribly stupid. I just don't even know how else to say it. It's like roundabouts are meant to keep things moving, keep cars going, keep the flow. And then if somebody starts to walk and you got one person who just is off a little bit, looking at their phone, whatever, they stop, try not to kill the person in the roundabout, and I mean, they're going to get rear-ended. A lot of bad things can happen. So yeah, I've never really understood the crosswalks and roundabouts. That said, we've got about 3.5 miles of just straight northbound, boring driving. I mean, boring and cool. It's hilly, it's beautiful, it's scenic. But as far as Beta is concerned, this is just really easy. Going up this hill here, my visibility is limited. Car has much better visibility because of the camera that's mounted up here, and it's able to see much further. If we could look on here, where it's already visualizing a car, and I don't know how well the camera is picking up the hills. There's just little hills, little inclines in these roads, and it's just harder to see things. But thankfully, where the cameras are positioned, they allow the car to see better than a human. One of the things I talk about, and one of the reasons I'm shocked that people want to ban this software, people are so angry about it, is that with a human driver, me, and the software running, we are unequivocally safer than just any human driver. Because it's pretty simple and pretty logical here, but if I'm driving a car, another person is driving a car, we've both been driving for 25 years, we're both safe drivers, call us equal. If you then add on to one of our cars a camera and sensor suite, the sensors is up for debate, and I actually disagree with Tesla. I think they should add forward-looking infrared. I know HD radar might be coming in the future, but anyway, right now, let's just say you add 8 cameras, which are constantly monitoring a 360-degree view of the car at something like 170 trillion operations per second, which is really unfathomable. I mean, clearly the cameras aren't running it at anything like that, and the total compute, the total process, I don't think is that close. But I think that's their maximum, their theoretical maximum, and basically they're running a little faster than our human brain, and they're running 360 degrees. In addition to what we've already declared as safe, just me driving, or just another person driving. So when you add on these safety features, keeping us in the lane, making the turns for us, keeping us appropriately behind other cars, it's really hard to understand how someone would think this software is less safe. Where it could be less safe is where it makes a disengagement-worthy mistake, and the human monitor in charge of the system doesn't disengage or doesn't adjust. So, for example, if I saw this car on that left turn that we disengaged was going to hit another car, and I just let it hit the other car, that's not the software's fault. That's not a reason to ban the software. That's the idiot monitor who didn't do their job as a beta tester and didn't take over. Just like right now, if this car dove left, which I've never heard of anyone saying that the software would do something so juvenile, but say it was about to cross the center line or something, like, I'm 100% responsible to not let it do that. So it's really unfortunate that people are out there disparaging, and most of them are disingenuous. Most of them have a financial interest in something else. And then you have a few, loud, woke, vocal minorities who just hate Elon, which is kind of crazy considering he's probably, more reasonable and more pro-freedom than most. And he's trying to move humanity towards sustainable energy, which I don't know how anyone could actually argue against that. The other option, by definition, will run out if it's not sustainable. So it's really not, people give Elon a lot of credit and act like he's a genius. He might be a genius. I have no idea. But he's not a genius for saying that sustainable energy is a good thing. That does not take a genius to make that statement. I think a reasonable, logical human being with a brain and IQ north of like 65 should understand that if something is finite, going to run out, that working toward an alternative that is infinite, not going to run out, is plus EV, positive expected value, aka a good idea. All right, so car just made that right-hand turn. I just looked at the clock and noticed that I'm going to be arriving at pickleball at exactly 9 o'clock, which is right when my training starts. So that's not a good thing. So hopefully, as a result of me being a little bit late, we get some good content here. I am gonna manually take it out of beta and just let it slow down, and we'll look at this green bar here. This is showing the regenerative braking, putting energy back in the battery. I do that just to let it slow down to get right to my turn. Beta does not turn into this driveway for me yet. It'll just say navigate on autopilot ending in 100 feet or so. But that is a typical drive from a real honest beta tester, not trying to act like this software is the greatest thing in the world and ready for steering wheels to be removed and people to go to sleep in the car, but certainly not acting like it's vaporware or fraudulent or doesn't have any utility. That is extremely disingenuous and just flat out wrong. People are just flat out lying if they say that. So here we go. I'm gonna go pickle the ball and maybe make another video on the way home. Hopefully this turned out well and taught you something.